All right, everyone, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, chief host of the show, and joining me as always is none other than my co-host Avira.
Hello! Hey guys, I hope you are having a fantastic night. This is Candy Corn Orange Doggo just saying hello.
Always. And as always, we have our interim host, Noble.
Good morning, and with any luck, I won't have mold affecting my ability to concentrate this morning. Unless, of course, you're in the other part of the world where it's 4 a.m. At which point, the fuck are you doing awake?
Well, in the other part of the world, they've basically been barraged by, wind thunderstorms. That's what I've been told. And like,
Yes, well, funny point you mentioned that, because for me it's about 7 p.m., but for you it's like the morning, right?
oh, it's almost noon.
Oh, goodness, yeah, so it's almost the next day.
I'm having my toasted sandwich after the podcast.
Hey, right on. I'm gonna have some macaroni and cheese afterwards.
I'm gonna find out what's on my lunch menu.
Alright.
Although I do have had a couple of pizzas for breakfast, so yay to
Well,
that.
that's what happens when you live with your parents.
Gosh.
Hey, pizza bagels are cool.
Well, the fact of the matter is, pizzas for breakfast ain't so bad. Pizzas for carry all the leftovers across.
Oh, man.
All right, so shall we get started with all the crazy that's been happening this week?
Please.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so number one, what have we got? The Last of Us. Director admits to tricking audiences to push gay storylines and propaganda.
Granted, this is something that a lot of us, like us normal people, would have seen watching this, and we would have been called conspiracy theories, right? Like, oh, it's a conspiracy theorist that you think that they're promoting the gay agenda? Boo-to-doo. But no, they actually say this is precisely what they're doing. Good lord. They're saying it flat out.
Like
So
he
this
said,
is The Last of Us.
yeah, the director himself, Horse, said, sometimes you have to sort of trick the rest of the world into watching these things before they're like, oh my god, it was two guys I just realized.
Sometimes you have to trick the rest of the world? Why in the heck are they doing this? This is supposed to be a video game adaptation about cordyceps infecting the brains of people.
Yeah, and for the same reason too. It's stuff.
So, what did the creators say? Like, let's read on.
There's
Um,
this letter bit just at the bottom. Can we jump to that instead?
right, but the fact of the matter is, this is they're not trying to depict love as we know it. They're depicting degenerate shit. That's why they actually have. That's why my intuition is telling me they have to trick the rest of the world to be okay with said degenerate shit.
So,
All
they
right.
have to infect your brain with cordyceps mushrooms in order to make you feel like you're gay.
Okay. So, having watched this episode and the following episode, let me put it to you this way. I found it confusing. Not only was the storyline as it played out very short as the episode progressed, but things were just rushed, which didn't make it one feel organic. Two, didn't make me feel anything for the actual characters, and three, I questioned a lot of what the hell I was watching and why. Here's the important thing. There were segments where you had two of the main characters at the time, two of the cast, actually appear in the show and you meet up with the gay couple. If, and I stress if, it was just those segments and it showed a general progression, that would have been okay. I would have actually liked that. Instead, they had like a awkward sort of meet up. They suddenly rushed together with hitching up, and it just seemed like a waste to watch. I'm sorry, but if that's how a gay couple basically meets up, then no.
Oh, what you're saying is, at least this is like my interpretation. When it came to the whole Last of Us like storyline, when the main characters got up to this particular point, they reached this, and they're like, okay, well now there's a gay couple, and then like it doesn't really progress the storyline at all. It's kind of just like there.
Well, technically, the actual episode itself had something to do with the next couple of episodes.
Okay.
But what I'm referring to is that there's a very short period of time at the beginning where these two guys get together, one hits on the other, they just stare at each other, and then they go at it. And I'm like, that
Oh,
one didn't
well,
seem organic, and two, it didn't seem believable. As I said before, if it just showed a gradual, a bunch of meetings between four characters, and you could see that the two men were slowly getting together, that would have been enough. There's no need to have, sorry, this kind of thing just sort of play out. Watch the episode to understand what I'm talking about. But it's the same thing with Chucky. I can't understand why a 13 and a 14-year-old kid snogging on screen for about a minute is necessary or even acceptable. I don't get it. Fine, you got a gay couple. Just play into it without trying to jam it down our throats. How many married couples, straight married couples, do you see actually going at it this hard? Unless the movie's is about purely them getting together.
that's a good point. Yeah, you really don't see that kind of stuff.
I mean, one of the more accepting scenes that I came across throughout the whole thing was in the following episode, where the kid's looking at a magazine and she makes comments about it being sticky. So basically,
Oh, okay.
now with her behavior from the beginning of the episode and to the current episode, I would expect that from her character. Throwing that in at the end of it, if all they had was just the meeting up of the four people throughout that episode, it would have been a nice icing on the cake. But just the way they thrusted at it, it was a waste of time. I'm sorry, but it was just a waste.
Yeah, and of course, like I'm sure the amount of time and effort they spent in the writing, with those two characters, it probably diminished or took away from the main storyline of what The Last of Us is actually really all about.
Yeah, zombies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where the zombies at?
Just to add that there was a really creepy scene in the previous episode where one of the female leads, the zombie didn't try to attack her; it tried to kiss her on the mouth, and it just seemed extremely creepy. Like you got that creepy guy in the back of the corner that wants to turn around and see something sexual, and I'm like, why? You get these little snippets in the show where it's like they're trying to be outrageous, and it's just gross.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean, the way they killed the character off was great, but just that end bit of her getting the zombie wanting to have a snog with her, just it's like what? It's like the follow-up episode is the one we're talking about, where it just didn't make sense. I mean, a couple of the scenes throughout the episode too, adding them in would have been like a good idea to explain. Well, this is the reason why this person's in a wheelchair. This is the reason why he was stabbed. But like a lot of the scenes where they're hitting up with each other, it's just pointless.
Huh. And what episode of the series like was that? Was that like the finale, or was it, like the middle of the road kind of
No,
thing?
this is just things were getting started. So the whole reason why these two characters were sort of brought in, it's how the main two characters get a hold of a car and a whole bunch of equipment and are able to move out for a little bit, and then at which point they basically lose it all. Which is fucking ridiculous.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Well, I mean, how else? It's been like 20 years into the apocalypse. I mean, how else do you get an immaculate car, a shit ton of supplies, and also some decent weaponry?
Well, do it the Halo way. They brought a car in from the past. Yeah, I am referring to that one joke where they had Tahoe, but yeah, suspension of disbelief. You would imagine, right?
Well, some points they're actually nailing the storyline pretty good, but in others it's just like, why are you even doing that?
Yeah. Anyway, to get back on track, I guess with this whole thing, like some of the actresses have actually. This is what some of the actresses have said to like in regards to the writing of and the characters too. Look at the actress Bella Ramsey says, I know people will think that what they want to think, but they're gonna have to get used to it. If you don't want to watch the show because it has gay storylines, because it has a trans character, that's on you and you're missing out.
Wait, who's the trans character?
I don't know, but I know it's got so much gay storylines in it.
What do they mean you're missing out? Missing out on what?
What? If it's degenerate shit, then I'm happy to miss out on that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I just want to play the game about freaking cordyceps,
Yes, and
taking over zombie people. I don't
or even
care if
or
the
surviving
character is like
in a
gay or trans or whatever. Like, who cares about that?
yeah, or heck, even surviving in an apocalypse world. Heck,
Yeah, this is crazy.
yeah, and look at how rich this is. This is her saying this next sentence. It isn't gonna make me afraid. I think that comes from a place of defiance. Oh, what? Defiance against all things that are good, beautiful, and true.
No, screw that. I'd be afraid if the freaking like fungus zombie is attacking me.
Sorry, but the whole thing does seem a little unrealistic. I mean, if there's very few people around, natural instincts are going to want you to, go for the opposite sex. That's just it. I
Well,
mean,
that's
occasionally you might
that's
want to
basic
get like
nature.
with
Yeah.
someone for a bit of cuddles, but when it comes to like long-term survival, you're going to want to have kids.
No, yeah,
Your
of course.
brain's
Like,
going to be like, well, I need more people. If I can't find them, then I'm going to have to make them. I mean, if this is how the human race ends up, it's a pretty quick way of turning around and basically causing the species to go extinct.
well, in a post-apocalyptic world, I mean, you only have like one generation left. So yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's true.
Okay, so the scene that's being shown there, I know the episode it's from. I'll put it this way: it was less focusing on like gay sex, and it was just more two teenagers hanging out and having fun.
Yeah, right.
Which was a hell of a lot better than those two guys.
Yeah.
Well, in a post-apocalyptic world, of course, there's probably going to be some survivors. Some of them might happen to be homosexual.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to be the ones who are going to procreate the human race. Of course not, because they can't. But they could survive. Maybe teach others.
They can. They can. But at the end of the day, the point about this whole thing and what the writers of The Last of Us did was trick people in order to having to accept something that's just ugly and degenerate.
And that was messed up. Yeah. See, this is the whole point that we're trying to get at. The writers of this show, this is not unique when it comes to Hollywood writers and stuff like that. People that want to try to commandeer social media and regular media in that regard to promote some kind of political agenda. That's what they're doing. And this guy is totally honest about it. He's like, yep, Exactly, we're gonna have some gay characters in here because that's what we want to show to everybody. Because that's totally relevant. Yeah. How many people do you think want to watch that?
I'm going to say it's the loud people that used to be on Twitter, if they're still there, unless, of course, they found somewhere else to go.
I think they just fell into the whole get woke, go broke kind of thing. Like they're probably thinking, okay, this is like a niche market, and we can, pander to these people and do all that. But at the end of the day, no one wants to see this crap.
No, people do. There are certain people that do.
Some people
And,
do. Yes,
and
some
to
people.
be
That's
honest,
that's the couple of billionaires that live in like frickin' Hollywood or like Beverly Hills or whatever. They want to
having
like
watched
fund this garbage.
having watched the actual show itself, there are occasions where they do have that crop up, but it's in a small light that it goes along with the story. It's when they really force hard into it that it really just sort of rubs off the wrong way. And that's where a lot of writers generally sort of screw things up, and directors when they make this sort of stuff, that when they try to force this as like the thing, it just comes off as bad.
Yeah,
It's
man.
not good
I
entertainment.
loved this game. Like I think the whole idea of like the Last of Us, like the whole cordyceps, fungal invasion of the brain. I think that's super interesting. That's a really cool idea for a video game and stuff. But I don't think this has anything to do with our current political situation when it comes to like your sexuality. Man, I just want to fight some freaking fungus zombies, all right? Like I don't care about your gender
Yeah,
codes or whatever. Like, come on, man. It's a freaking video game. Like, be
I,
real.
I'll put it this way, just so people get a bit of an understanding. If I want to watch people having sex, I'm going to watch a porno. If I want to watch
Yeah.
a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to want to watch a zombie apocalypse. If I want to watch a porno that's about a zombie apocalypse, I want to watch something that's classified as a porno with zombies. But in this case, no, I wanted to see what the video game series was about. I'm sorry, but you're doing a bad job with it. I mean, yeah, fine, you're actually getting some, good scenes in here and there, but overall, it's being destroyed by just some of this pointless rhetoric that's not actually entertaining.
true, true. But ultimately, yeah. But ultimately, this is what they've done, and seriously,
It's difficult to like make video games
or enough, yeah,
um
already,
like consumer media if it's
or
not a video game. It's hard to do that.
or like port it over to a TV series, like
Exactly. Yeah.
while faithfully adapting the core materials that make, you know. But ultimately, it's a writer issue also. So yeah, that's where the gripe is with the writer that did just that.
I mean, if we didn't have all this woke politics, I think The Last of Us could be a really interesting TV series. Like
Oh,
like it could be like the next Walking Dead. Like y'all be waking up and like your friends have like freaking mushrooms sprouting out of their skulls. I mean, that'd be freaking bonkers, man. That'd be
that,
crazy.
but there,
Imagine watching a show like that, right? Like that'd be kind of cool.
I just got an idea for a drama horror. What if
Yeah.
you could have the politics of running a government or an organization where the world's basically fallen apart by zombies? And you have different groups where some are, with the majority, some aren't, or you got like renegades running around, and it's just the people in the political offices having to deal with this shit.
Oh man. Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. Like how would they even deal with that? They're
But the
like, yo,
problem
the whole
is,
world is crumbling. Like, what the heck do we do?
if the advertisements were selling this as some sort of zombie action flick, people would get horribly pissed. If it came out as like a political drama about the zombie apocalypse, with the zombie apocalypse happening on the outside, that's a different story. But eh, I mean, we got a lot of that in The Walking Dead now and then, which was great. But The Walking Dead, for what it was, kind of got boring towards the end, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the whole Last of Us series. Like, it started out with a really cool concept, but then they kind of just degraded like very quickly, like way quicker than Walking Dead ever did,
Mhm.
which is kind of a bummer. But like, that's kind of just how it went.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So, to move on from here, we have this next item for you. What go broke? Hershey faces boycott for pushing transgender for Women's History Month.
Oh no. I'm sorry, but a bunch of people, for a bunch of people that get referred to as chest feeders and birthing person, this would seem like a slap in the face.
In my
Mm.
personal opinion, I believe that is offensive to women. When you call someone a birthing person, what you're really referring to is a woman. But
Yeah,
that
it's supposed to be
that
provocative.
totally degrades their actual status. So let's read on with this article. Here we have
So,
Hershey's. It says Hershey's decision to include a transgender woman in a Canadian advertising campaign promoting I'm
History
sorry,
Month and International
Women's
Women's.
History Month, an International Women's Day on March 8th, has sparked backlash on social media. Now, with some users calling for people to boycott the company's products. Well, yeah, you know why? Because Hershey's spokesperson is not a woman. She's a transgender. So Hershey's is using this Women's Month to promote a trans for their spokesperson, who is not a woman, by the way. That's a guy.
Yeah.
It's a dude who's pretending to be a woman and is now their spokesperson for Women's Month. Oh goodness.
No,
Oh
no, Avera,
Hershey's, what are you
it's a guy.
doing?
Avera, it's a guy that believes at their core at the time that they're actually supposed to be a woman.
But why is a chocolate company embracing this and
It's
promoting this for their candy?
it is for political brownie
This
points. It's
doesn't
an
make any
opportunity.
sense. Like they say, oh, it's a she bar. Like they're promoting women. Okay, that's fine. You can promote women and whatnot, but
Hang on, doesn't
when you're having a spokesperson who's a dude, like
sorry,
what
I'm
is
pretty
wrong
Avera,
here?
I'm pretty sure she refers to cats. I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to identify a female cat.
She is the dude. Let's
I
see.
think you kind of missed a
In
step there,
Canada,
but whatever.
the candy bar is branded as her, one of five chosen to appear on a Canadian version of the candy bar is Faye Johnston, a transgender woman and activist, according to Newsweek. Quote, I grew up with a few trans role models. Many young trans folk haven't met a trans adult, Johnston wrote on Twitter. I hope this campaign shows trans girls they can dream big and change the world too.
Okay, hold on. I got a problem with that.
Yeah,
So
me
one of the
too.
Yep.
transgender people I
Yep.
met was sending photos of his dick to girls in high school who are
Yep.
under the age of 18. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry if I take an issue with, you know, that kind of pedophile type behavior, but unfortunately there was that plus a other group who were, well, let me put it this way. I knew these individuals before they went and did this sort of thing. And afterwards, when I sort of walked in on them like full dressed up and everything, and I go, "Oh, hey, I haven't seen you for a while." And the expression they gave me was the same as if I walked in with a dead, rotting rat, slapped it on the table, and said, "Fuck you." I'm sorry,
Oh
but if you're going to respond like that to somebody who you haven't seen for a while, clearly you've got issues.
man, it's even worse than that. You know, people like this who write these articles, they want to indoctrinate your kids. Like they're coming into your schools. They're doing this. They're doing all this.
I've known one sane transgender person. That's it. And I'm sorry, but if majority of your so-called circle a bunch of people who are fucked in the head, you might want to try to invest in that before turning around and selling candy bars.
No, no. The thing is, they do think about this. This is the whole problem when it comes to like transing the kids or like indoctrinating the youth. They do things like they work with candy companies or children's networks when it comes to
What
like
else?
TV
What
and
else was found on
movies.
this news article?
I would say most of this has just kind of become a whole reactions to this sort of thing, like to their decision to
Then it's the
put a
same thing.
transphobe
It's exactly what I was saying.
Okay, I
Yes,
have a serious question though. What would be so outrageous with relying on the lesbian community for this?
right.
What would
I
be
mean,
outrageous is the fact that lesbians think that they're being erased.
yeah, that would create some sort of infighting between that whole circle, which are supposed to be all singing kumbaya.
Yeah, but no,
Oh,
I'm serious about this. What is so egregious with using a lesbian couple for this ad campaign?
I mean, it's the lesser of two evils. I mean, not real. Well, I don't know.
It's not that. It's the fact that they don't think that lesbians are actually legit. If you're a lesbian, then you're probably trans, and then they want to trans you. That
Mm.
has been the case for the last 7 years, unfortunately.
I'm. I think so. Have people been? So exactly how much effect has this had on the Hershey's Corporation at the moment, or at least for the chocolate bar?
Okay,
Right.
well, here's the thing about that. Yesterday I was at work and I bought a Hershey bar. I didn't realize that Hershey has gone woke, like as bad as they have. So I bought like a 2.97 chocolate bar yesterday. And now I'm thinking, man, I probably shouldn't have done that because I don't want to give these guys another penny. They're insane, man.
Mhm.
They legit are bonkers.
Well, tell you what, if you want to try another chocolate company, there's one in Australia and England called Cadbury. And what I found is the chocolate's a little softer for taste, maybe a little less bitter.
Man, I'm not gonna buy Hershey's anymore. As good as Hershey's is, like they really did get the formula down. Like it really does taste good. But if corporate wise, they're gonna jump on this whole bandwagon of the whole pandering to like the
Yeah.
alt leftist, crazy LGBT rainbow alphabet cultist agenda. I'm not for that.
I have to
I
admit,
no, I can't be for that.
this is a perfect way to get people to talk about their company as well.
As a
What, by
marketing
boycotting it?
Well, for the meantime,
I mean, this is basically going to rile up a thing or like a PR disaster. Like, let's be real here. It's put Hershey's on the spotlight now, and now it's got people talking about Hershey's.
It has. In fact, Hershey's made an well, I don't know if they made the article or if there's an article
Oh
about them.
no, this isn't.
But
This article wasn't made by Hershey's. They just made the campaign, and and coincided with the timing of the days on the calendar. So really, what they've done is just like try to capitalize on this with their vision of what International Women's Day should be commemorated as.
it will be interesting to see what Hershey's think of this whole thing after the whole event has ended. To be honest,
Oh well, they're just gonna keep going like it's not. Look at the statement that they've just put out. I'll just read this to you. We value togetherness and recognize the strength created by diversity. Over the past 3 years, our Women's History Month programming has been an inclusive celebration of women and their impact. We appreciate the countless people and meaningful partnership behind these efforts. Signed, the Hershey Company.
so why are they supporting a bunch of violent extremists then?
Or even like not men, not women.
No, no,
Why
no.
must
It's
we
not.
say?
It's not that. Why side with a group of people who think the best thing to do when they don't like particular video games to create a website where people can go in and see who played the game and streamed it live?
And
I'm
that is a
sorry, but
very good
kind of
question.
That's a
that
good point
kind of
too.
behavior I've seen with a particular group in the 1940s that you generally want to stay away from. So the question is still, why would a chocolate company that wants to support women solely dive deep down into an organization that's basically nothing but a bunch of violent extremists? And I'm referring to the people at the top who are making the loudest comments online. That's
Hmm.
my question.
Yeah,
In that regards, I guess my answer would be, well,
I think
you're
there
not
is an
asking
answer.
me, but I think whoever's in charge is not necessarily all that in tune with social media. He
Right.
probably doesn't understand what the fuck is going on right now.
It's not so much it. Like I would say, like as most people would intuit, I would say the people who would be in this couch of this campaign, either A, they're so deep in the rabbit hole for the woke agenda, or B, they believe it's not going to backfire. This campaign is not going to backfire on them.
The
Yeah,
problem,
like they're so out of touch, like they don't even understand.
it's going to be the marketing team behind Hershey's. Now, the person at the top, from my understanding about CEOs, they're generally not too familiar with a lot of things that are going on. Very few CEOs in like major corporations are socially active. I mean, Elon Musk is a one of the what you'd call a rare example of someone pretending to be super rich and then also actively engaging in the community. Most CEOs, most like company owners don't actually do that, and they rely on a team or teams of people to turn around and say, "Hey, look, this is how things are going. This is how we need to approach things." And then it's down to the boss to turn around and say, "Yes, let's take this path," or "No, I really don't want to do that." And in this case, my assumption is they will give the person in charge or the people in charge would have been given a list of, hey, this is how we need to approach things, and they would have just been given the green light after a bit of a thought. How long? I don't know what to say.
Mm.
That's a fair point.
But at the end of the day, now in light of all this, we're going to look for substitutes to Hershey's chocolates. Like we suggested to you, Avira, you should try Cadbury. See if you can find
Yes,
them. Or,
definitely,
our other
definitely.
Australian favorites, Tim Tams.
Well, I'm not going to be buying any more of things from Hershey because considering what they've just recently done, and if this is their whole marketing campaign, well, they failed. They really did. And I saw some interesting video about Hershey's recently. I believe this was yesterday. They were saying how this was cancel culture and all that. Uh, no, it's actually not. A boycott is not cancel culture. A lot of people are boycotting Hershey's because they don't agree with their political nonsense. No one wants to. No one cares about your gay crap. Okay, we just want to buy chocolate, right? Let's be real. That's really what it's all about. And so this company is so confused. Like, why are so many people boycotting us? Oh, this is cancel culture. No, bullshit. No, it's not. It's called capitalism.
Tell you what, a great way to support women would be to turn around, find a bunch of international organizations who support women from, say, domestic abuse and violence. And I don't know, maybe provide part of your revenue for that period to the organization.
Yeah, or how about some women that said, "Hey, I'm not gonna buy your crap. I'm gonna go take my business elsewhere."
I
Yeah,
mean, there's
what about
also
that?
education. I mean, how much revenue would the Hershey's make in, say, what, the month? Would
Hmm.
that be, say, plenty to turn around and to take maybe 4 or 5 girls who are currently in poverty and pay for the schooling until they turn like 18 or something?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
not
that would
sure.
actually be a more, like you said, a more wiser endeavor than what Hershey's did.
Yeah, I mean, why not help the poor? Why not help the people who are struggling or people who really
Yeah,
need it? I'm sorry, but
Yeah, they could have done that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So, to move on to the next item, got something different, which sort of a change of pace for you. So, here's what's new. Ford patent would remotely repossess cars, shut off air conditioning if owner misses payments. So, Ford is this is one of those cases where like modern car has gone too far and too smart for its own good, right? So, let's read this quickly. Ford is attempting to patent car repossession technology that would allow the automaker to remotely lock down vehicles or shut off key features like air conditioning if the owner misses payments, according to newly surfaced filings.
I would actually love to see this being released and put into cars.
Yes.
Wait a second. So your car is not going to allow you to have air conditioning if you didn't have your fucking payments?
Now,
If you miss your payments or like, if you miss the notice of payments or like delinquency.
What
so
the hell?
something I should point out on Reddit, there are a number of stories where there are people who either bought the car outright or they
Yes.
have paid the car off. This, it doesn't matter if they're the second or third owner, but there is a system that's been installed. And what this will do is if a signal is sent or there is a fault in the device, it will permanently cause the vehicle to, sorry, it will shut the vehicle down. No, it will prevent the vehicle from starting up the next time that someone tries to start the engine. Now, the downside is if the vehicle is completely paid off, the device is installed, but you don't know about it, it can affect the vehicle and stop it from, well, starting. The problem is that they're not actually removed, and there's been a number of times where these machines have gone, oh fuck, I give up on life, and bricked the car temporarily. In this case, what could happen is if someone's able to, gee, I don't know, log into the server or figure out, oh, hey, I can tap into this car's Wi-Fi. I can turn around, open the door, and I can have the car drive me to McDonald's. And then I can take it out to the middle of us nowhere, bury it in petrol, and then torch the thing. This system would give so much control to an individual with a phone, for crying out loud, that if a major security flaw was discovered and a person just needed proximity to a car, I mean, at the moment, key fobs make it easy to steal vehicles with the right security faults or at least access to the key fob. Or if you can get into the car, you can basically
Well,
make
if
your
you
own.
have the know-how, then definitely yes, we will be able to access a car. Heck,
This would take stealing a car from being somewhat troublesome to basically piss fucking easy under the right circumstances. It's fucking hilarious. I can understand why a company would want to develop this technology. For instance, when it comes to say car loan companies, this would be an excellent thing to add on to help them sell. But the 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 potential for abuse with a system like this is just insane.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Well, at least I know not to buy Ford anymore. But I was always a Toyota guy, so whatever.
I mean, if you're Australian, you'll probably know you got the two main choices, Ford and Holland, but that's now a thing of the past. So yeah. Anyway, if you're looking at buying a car, you're going to look forward to having these features disabled: cruise control, automated window and seat controls, air conditioning systems, remote key fobs, and automated door locking systems could be disabled through the technology. And disabling such components may cause an additional level of discomfort to a driver and occupants of the vehicle.
Can you imagine in like 45-degree weather, the air conditioning system kicking on and going as full blast at hot temperature as possible?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Oh shit! I love this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's crazy
Ah,
stuff altogether. It's like
this would really help the subscription model for owning a vehicle.
it would actually, you know what, though, if this is if BMW said, you have to subscribe for key features, Ford is now saying hold my beer.
You mean the actual Nazi company? The company literally founded by the Nazis. Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
him taking advantage of this thing. Something shocking.
I don't know, man. I know Ford's always struck me as a bodgy company, but
Now,
you
give
know,
me a Japanese company any day. Their vehicles are generally better.
yes, their vehicles just last all up longer, straight up. Or heck, the the real solution to this wouldn't to buy a smart car of the modern era. It would be to buy a dumb car.
Yeah. I just hope there's still going to be enough used cars available at a cheap, at an affordable price if I'm ever able to actually
Well,
buy
look,
one.
I would say you would be safe if you got a car that was made before like for the most part in the 2020s.
So, like an analog car.
I
Oh
mean,
no, I'm
yes,
thinking like the 80s or the mid to late 90s at the worst.
yeah, 80s cars, 90s cars, like the 2000s aren't so bad either. They're still
I
Yeah,
not
but
have a
who's in
they're not
2015 Toyota.
2020?
I'm doing okay.
yeah, then the 2000 cars are not that sophisticated yet. So, you'd be pretty safe with those. They're a good bet.
Yeah, but what do you need? You need to go from A to B. Why the hell do you need to have a personal massager and
Right.
vibrator built into your car?
Here's a here's a live comment that I'm gonna go through and put up. Box Cutter Husky. Bicycles are the future. Well, really though, I am actually inclined to agree with you because now, like if you look at this is maybe another a story for another time, but if you look at other channels, including the urban planning domains, then yeah, people are now speaking out against car focused developments for that. So, but that's a story for another time. So I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
But
I am having
yeah,
a ball with this one.
I know. Hang on. Another live comment for him. Autonomous vehicles should be outlawed. If we automate everything, we'll be left with a Wall-E universe.
Well, as long as you don't put on the pounds, you can turn around and do whatever the fuck you want.
Well, if you don't have like the self-driving thing like you do with Teslas, then yeah, I reckon you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shock sometimes, especially when you run into someone or when your
excuse the
car runs into someone.
yeah, excuse the pun, but yeah, definitely. I mean, who literally buys a Tesla to enjoy the pleasure of driving, right?
I think pretty rich snobs like to turn around, put it in autopilot, and then just have a good snog while they're going down the highway or asleep.
Yeah, and then claim, "Oh, I'm just saving the friggin' environment." Bitch, please.
Yeah, owning the iPhone of the car industry is like going to save the world. Screw you.
Yeah. So there's a lot of interesting things that have been, with this whole car repossession module. It's like the way the system works, like from the look of things, like the car basically uses a network to contact all these, the police, the bank, and all the agencies, and then what the owner is left with is either just an unpleasant noise and an unpleasant quality of life while inside the car, reminding them that they have missed their payments.
The downside is, and this is the important part of the whole thing, is that it boils down to you just can't trust people.
You know, this this is the sort of thing that makes somebody want to essentially jailbreak the car.
Yeah,
Well, how
well,
can they
guess
do
what?
that?
I
People
mean,
are
it's the
already
same.
jailbreaking equipment anyway, so
I mean, they're trying. You know,
farm
it's the same
equipment.
thing too with trying to jailbreak a Tesla with mods that are not approved by Tesla.
Oh no, no, no. What I'm more referring to is the farm equipment by what's that company called again?
John Deere.
Yeah, John Deere.
Ah, fair enough.
To
Yeah.
say that that drives a stick into my nerve that that company's been pulling is an understatement. While this is a joke now, unfortunately, moving forward, I can see it being something deployed in new vehicles as like a standard measure and being sold on more like controlling things from your phone,
Mhm.
automating your car so it will start heating it before you get in. If it still has a petrol or diesel engine, having the engine start prior to you starting your journey. So instead of having to go out and prep your car, you just simply have it set so that you either push a button or once you start doing something, your car will automatically jump start and be ready for you to go straight away when you leave the house without having to go out there and prep the bloody thing.
Uh-huh.
I remember doing that in winter time.
Oh, oh! I just realized maybe they didn't think this all through. What if they had, you were dumb enough to actually buy this car used and the car was disabled?
Oh
Oh,
no!
that would be only if they were able to temporarily activate all the features while the car was being inspected for sale.
Well, sorry, you got a car, but you ended up getting a lemon. Why is my car a fucking lemon?
I had one of those. God, it pissed me off.
Yeah, I had a lemon too, but not because of the car was super smart, but because of bad design. But yeah, I guess maybe we have to go back to the past to reclaim our future.
Yeah, basics.
Yeah, less is more. Indeed.
All
Um,
right.
yeah. So now this next item, fourth one on this list, we're going to do a roundup of what has been developing in the popular culture sphere. Oh, before that though, live comment. Fiona, imagine driving to the ER when your car stops working. Yeah, but doubly more so when you had that thing when your car is reminding you to keep repaying it.
Well,
So
that's what's that's what's going to be interesting is how far legally can vehicle manufacturers get away with disabling parts or fully on disabling a vehicle before getting into strife in court. Because if a
mhm.
car automatically stops on the way to the hospital, that's going to be pretty bad, especially if a company triggered the disabling of it. It's like, oh, you're
Yes,
speeding too fast. We better turn your vehicle off so you don't get into an accident.
yeah, we have
Meanwhile,
to
the
we have to raise the speed limiter up to thing over.
person in the back seat basically keels over because they couldn't get to the hospital in time. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
you sh-
million issues wrong with it. That yeah. All right. So to get back to this whole new next item that we're talking about, got these Power Rangers now have these. I know you like these, Noble too. New dinosaur forms.
I'm sorry, but with the death of one Power Ranger and the actions of one Red Ranger from the first series, I'm sorry, it's still a little fresh in my mind.
Guys, this is the Power Rangers. They're sporting some new forms right here. Oh goodness.
Like
This
we,
involves the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, doesn't it?
it
Well,
does
let's
involve the
see.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Get your names right.
Joel, when it comes to England, if we want to be like engaging for the entire community, sometimes we have to use the correct terms used in foreign lands.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Fair enough. I
the
see your
Power
point.
Rangers have always been associated with dinosaurs, and now that association has taken to the next level, with the Power Rangers not just representing dinosaurs, but actually mutating into them. Oh, whoa! And with a new team name and powers to match. Well, isn't that fantastic?
All right, let's have a look at these wondrous designs.
Yeah!
Got look at that. So we have the Red Ranger has a Tyrannosaurus. Blue Ranger is a Triceratops. Yellow Ranger is a saber-toothed tiger. Okay, going with the primordial theme.
Green Ranger's a dragon.
And the Pink Ranger is a pterodactyl.
Well, at least they got the species right.
Yeah, the Black Ranger is a mastodon.
Sorry, you couldn't have said it any other way. Oh,
Hey,
God, I'm
look, I
bad.
said that with a straight face.
No, it's just the pause you took. It's like Master Don. Sorry, just the way you said it. Yeah, okay. Look, when I look at these, it kind of looks like they morphed into like their outfits, which is a bit wonky for me. I would have preferred if they had proper sort of helmets to actually cover up the dinosaur head and maybe some of the other body parts, but eh, it just seems a bit. Seems like a full-on transformation instead of like a your redress of the clothing.
Right. And, get a hold of the new team name. They are the Mighty Mutant Power Rangers.
I'm pretty sure
Go,
Ooze didn't
go,
do
Mighty Mutant Power Rangers! Yeah. I mean, like, that's the name, so.
I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure they. I mean, there was the live action crossover, so I wonder if they're going to follow on with that.
As of now, I think because this is in comic form, I'm pretty sure it's still a ways away from transition from making the transition to being a cartoon, let alone a live action movie.
Cartoons, comics like this generally don't spawn off into a cartoon, as I understand it. I mean,
Well,
it's different in Japan with anime, but I'm pretty sure in America it's.
I mean, they cartoonified Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so
Yeah.
it's still very much a possible thing that we may be seeing these. But for now, they are in comic form, and they're making a crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
So it's really, yeah, really
They've
quite a
had
bit of star power there.
they've had a couple of comics, I believe, in the past doing crossovers, but there was also a TV show in Power Rangers in Space where they actually had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the live action show, which was running around the same time. Come on, but the Power Rangers didn't go into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show, which was a real shame.
Hmm.
Like it's pretty impressive too. Like, and now it's also been teased that these new Dino-fied Power Rangers will have the abilities and the attributes of those that have been transformed into. You know, Pink Ranger flies like a pterodactyl. Yellow Ranger has all the heightened senses of the saber-toothed tiger, and the Green Ranger, the dragon, can breathe fire.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to accidentally, cook the kitty though. I mean, I understand Mastodon's pretty tasty, but sorry. Uh, Honestly, it'd be interesting to see how the comic goes. I might actually try to seek this one out, to be honest. But like I said initially, the thing the Red Ranger got into from the original series in today's world, and the whole incident behind, well, the actor who portrayed the White Ranger and the Green Ranger. Sorry, it's just left me a little raw.
I actually do think that they will. What do you think? Like how about the style? Like like the designs and that. Like, do you think they'll translate really well into cartoon?
They've been doing
Or you?
cartoons for Power Rangers for a while now. I imagine, as long as they don't have some woke twat behind the wheel for the
That's
storyline telling, then
yeah. In the
it
writing
should be
team,
good.
yeah. Then, but all up, I think it's great. I think it's great that they're doing this and they're collaborating with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Love it. And on the other side of the pop popular culture and media roundup, we have Peter Pan.
Oh, hang on.
Uh,
Homer Simpson put it at Peter Pantsless. I can't get that out of my head, to be honest. Drunk Homer is funny.
mm-hmm.
Pre 2010.
Yeah, I mean, Avira, you've kind of seen what that was all about. Like, what do you think? Like about the whole new Peter Pan's like depictions
I
of
have,
Tinkerbell in the
yeah.
book?
And
Yeah,
this is just another one of those things when it comes to Disney and trying to do these live action remakes. We've seen this before, when it comes to like Little Mermaid or Lion King. Again, same thing with Peter Pan. They're trying to do another live action remake because they ran out of ideas. That's really what it comes down to. And then they think, oh, well, we can just race swap some characters and that'll make it edgy and that'll make it fun and exciting for the
that'll make it
audience.
like relevant to the
But
modern
no,
era.
like, at the end of the day, like, no one really cares. Like, I don't want to see a reimagined Peter Pan. Like, who cares about that crap?
It's
No
like
one really.
it's like they're trying to imagine this for the modern era.
That was one of the main goals that they said they wanted to do in regards to like recasting some of their people. But like,
Hold on. I'm just taking a look at a couple of pictures of this. I
yeah,
don't really like the captain they got for Hook. He seems a little more, how to
yeah,
put it, neutral than aggressive and wicked.
th-
I really prefer. I don't know. Every story I've seen of Peter Pan, Hook has had that aggressive, grumpy sort of approach, and this guy looks like he's just some like CEO scheming things all the time. It's fucking ridiculous. Now, the fairy. If you're going to turn around and do a movie and redo the whole Little Mermaid thing and just literally go to the whole realistic things for like the support characters who were bloody torn apart in this movie, in here, why not do a more natural fairy? I mean, fairies are usually like, prior to Disney, they were considered to be tricksters.
well,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
but this is some kind,
or
friendly, lady that lives down the street that'll turn around and give you candy as you're going home. I would, if you're going to go the realistic route with your modern movies, then why not have the fairy, some evil trickster?
you could have the helpful fairy that you know is helpful, like what they did in like video games, like with Spyro and stuff like that. Like Zoe, or even like Peter Pan. Like Tinkerbell was like helpful fairy, helped him fly and all that stuff. Now they're totally turning it all on its head because Disney ran out of ideas.
Hmm. And look at the designs of them though. Oh, good grief! The newly redesigned characters in there.
Yeah, it's so unoriginal, man. Like, it's crazy. Instead of like Tinkerbell, like the fairy, like if they wanted to do like a reimagining or whatever, and like a CGI version, they could have made Tinkerbell look like Tinkerbell, like a floating fairy, and like they could have done some really cool graphics and like lighting and stuff. But nah, they made a shouty little T-Bell. and that's
Yo,
like,
little T. Yo.
yeah, 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 a little T Bell, like that's like what they did for her. And I feel bad for the actress that has to play this because she's literally like a diversity hire. When it comes to like Peter Pan, like w- did Disney run out of ideas at this point? Like, can they not make new stories? What the fuck?
Like you said,
They
that's like I've
can't.
been saying. It's like I've been saying. They're trying to reimagine this for the audience of 2023.
Yeah, but the audience of 2023 is totally rejecting their woke nonsense because none of us care. We just want to
I
see a decent movie. Like, we don't
what did you
care about
guys
your agenda or your politics or whatever.
what did you guys think of what they did with the Jumanji franchise? See, instead of trying to retell the original story, they tried to
The-
tell what would happen. This Jumanji occurred in modern eras, while also
Right.
giving a few snippets that yes, well, the previous movie was actually canon and did happen.
Yeah, they've readapted Jumanji into a different sort of modernized game.
I would have to wonder what would have happened if instead of trying to retell the Peter Pan story, if they turned around and instead used a girl as the main character, so maybe Wendy or Jennifer or something, and they rediscover you know
Hmm.
the old place. Maybe see some of the original characters as adults, and they go on a little adventure in that magical land. I mean, why not redo? Why not try to approach something like that? I mean, the amount of adventures you could have in Neverland could be endless.
Oh, for sure. It could be never ending. Haha.
I
But
mean, the kids don't even have to grow old. I mean, they could still be there, and you could just have a bunch of
Yeah.
new characters running
n-
through.
Noble, you underestimate the creativity of the writers involved here. They're not looking for new ideas. No, they're looking to rehash things that already worked and that they can make money.
Yeah, the problem is when you decide to rip out what made
Like
the
the way it
story,
was, like it
then
was so defining when it
And
was like
that's what
it
they're
is the
trying to
story.
do. They're just trying to latch on to that cash grab. That's what Disney's been doing the last 5 years, maybe 10.
Yeah, and and it's like in the live comments too. It's such a meme-worthy movie as well. Like they had the Lost Boys, and now it's girls are in there too. So it's now the Lost.
Yeah, really.
more the lost children.
Yeah, it's like Boy Scouts accepting girls for Scouts.
Oh goodness, no.
Yeah,
Well, if they're
It's just the
tomboys
law.
and they hit back, then different story. But yeah,
Well, I wonder how much money they're going to lose from making this movie. Let's see.
we'll soon find
how
out. Soon find.
realistic would it be though for was it a kid who originally came from India or whose parents came from India? Yeah, how realistic would it be in that time period in London for a child from India to be dragged into something like this?
All right.
It depends on what time period. I mean, like, if India was still the crown jewel of the British Empire, you probably could have been.
No,
Like,
but now,
nowadays, no.
nowadays, the colonizers have become the colonized, and my and one of my Indian workmate just laughed at it so hard, like the irony was not lost on him. So yes.
Alright.
Anyway, that I reckon that would be it for this week. We had quite a good bit going on. What a ride! I'm telling you.
Hmm.
So who's gonna come up with a closing statement?
I am so glad I'm surrounded by four walls that are made of brick.
Well, if it helps you sleep at night and feel insulated from the world, then keep those walls up.
There is another thing that keeps me concerned now when out driving. I don't just have to worry about some stupid idiot driving a bus or other vehicle recklessly, but I now have to worry about a car a
Spontaneously
smart car
shutting.
turning around and you're trying to hit me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Or
but that's just no.
yeah, it's like they or like smart cars spontaneously crashing or stopping and all that because somebody forgot to pay up.
Oh my goodness.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine if one of these vehicles just stopped in the middle of the car because someone forgot to pay their subscription fee? Oh shit!
Avira.
Wow. Hey, what a bonkers week, guys. At the end of the day, I just hope that candy companies go back to doing what they're best at, selling candy. That's really a good thing. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time.
Alrighty. As always, our episodes are available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, BitChute, Player.fm, and iHeartRadio. More further down the line. And thank you to those who tuned in. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did with the making of this episode. This is our signing off for the week. Farewell, and until next time.
Magic 8 Ball.
Much love, guys. Have a good night.